Hey guys, this is Gabriel from the Disciples, and today we're going to be recording a very special Tap Tuesday. It's going to be a YCS recap. So I have with me today PAK and Raph, which won the NA and the EU WCQ. So yeah, introduce yourselves, plug your stuff.
Awesome. Hey, what's up, guys? It's PAK. I have a YouTube channel and I also stream on Twitch. I'm sure they'll put that in the description box below. Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. I like discussion type content. I listen to them myself, so this is gonna be a lot of fun.
Is it my turn?
Yep.
Oh, sorry. I was just
There's not a lot of people.
I'm Raphaël. I'm from the Netherlands. I'm 23. And I am part of Duelist Academy. That's a Patreon I want to plug everywhere I can. So if you want to have coaching or get really good content from a lot of really good players, with like Paolo, Jesse, Asala, etc., Bowden, you can check out that. And I think I will also shout out my team, Jobber.
Yeah, all the links are going to be in the Spotify description and also in the YouTube description box. Someone smarter than me is going to capture them and put them there. So I guess first, congrats for you both for winning both the two biggest YCSs of the weekend.
Yeah, thank you.
Kind of surreal that we have everyone here. I feel like a failure now.
Nah, I watched your game. It was unfortunate.
Yeah, but you also play a way cooler deck than we did.
I guess. It was fun regardless.
Pack is looking like, what the fuck is he saying?
Oh yeah, I was like, yo, what do you mean? Yo, Frank is insane.
Prankits is anything but cool. It's the most boring deck ever. I'm sorry. I think it's good, but I think it's so boring.
Fair.
Yeah, I agree.
So I guess like
yeah.
How did you guys decide on what to play for the weekend? Because it's like 3 weeks ago already, so I know a lot of stuff probably changed. But still, like, how was the thought process to decide on a deck for you guys? I'm gonna go PAK first, then Raph, just on the order,
sure.
Just so we don't speak over ourselves.
Sure. I decided to play Prank Kid. So originally, I was like not really sure what I wanted to play. It was either like Dytron, Tri-Brigade, or like Prank Kid. So those are like definitely the top three. Like I don't think there was any other like consideration. And then I think the deck that I thought that would give me the most edge would be Prank Kid, because I thought that we just came off the ban list where Dryden got banned. So like a lot of people's side deck took out cards like Contact C. They took out cards like all the cards that are like really nice into like the Pure Zoo deck, like into the Pure Zoo deck were really good also into Prank Kid. So it was like really annoying. But now like because people were like expected Try and Dytron but never considered Prank Kids, I feel like that gave me an edge into like, a lot of my matchup. And I was like, it was a deck I was comfortable with. And then I just theored with like some friends, and yeah, we just pimped the deck out, and it worked well for me. So
that's fair.
I have no regrets about the deck choice. So
you think like how was like those 3 weeks for you? Like that you couldn't change anything? Did it like stress you out? Because for me it was like hell, like not being able to touch my list for 3 weeks.
So it was stressful. Like a lot. Yeah, I wanted to change so many cards. Yeah, after that I was like, damn, I wanted to change my entire deck, but then. That's kind of biased because I knew exactly who I was playing top 16. Yeah. So I was like, man, I wish I had like Psycho Readers, but I'm like, well, obviously I'm playing against Dytron.
I wish I played Psycho Reader and Draw. I'm playing Dytron on 16. Oh my god, Sam came out of nowhere.
What's up, gamer?
Sam, it's midnight.
You're the one gaming in the dark.
I hate you so much. Alright, so while Sam sets... Raph, how did you end up on Try? I know you tested with the WAF guys, Seb and Pierre.
Yeah.
And Herman.
So like I took a bit of a break, and like the first like deck of the new decks I picked up was Try after Lat like destroyed the entire UK extravaganza with it. So like I started testing that. I was also like trying to learn pranks, but like Christian helped me a bit, Harsh helped me a bit, but there was just no time to learn that. Yeah. And another deck I really liked, it was Ignister, because it was Luke Parks was like really good with that, so I tested a lot against him, and I really wanted to actually like master that, but there was no time, and I just Tri-Brigade was just like the deck I felt comfortable with, and like Herman, Deadly, Pierre, everyone was playing it, everyone was set on it, so like it felt very like it felt it made a lot of sense to choose that. And in format wise, it's just like very well positioned because you can play so many non-engine cards. which I think is super important in this format. That's why Prankins is also like such a good deck.
Yeah.
So it made a lot of sense for like a lot of different reasons for me.
No, I agree.
Hey,
It's
wakey, Sam.
yeah, Sam's
Yeah.
alive. I think Try
Hi,
is also
guys,
like
sorry.
probably the easiest one to pick up, right? Out of all the decks, like I don't want to
Yeah,
diminish
it's
it, but
also,
it's
like,
definitely the one with the
that
lowest
hard to
ceiling.
play.
Like, play.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Hello, Sam. Can you answer questions already? Are you already in the mood?
Yeah. I'm awake.
How did you play
Now.
Try?
Because it's such a simple deck. It really, 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 really is. I mean, everything's just. You know how most decks have got like, oh, you get hand traps, so you can play around things. You can do X and Y, and you can potentially still get to like a reasonable board. With Try, it's literally, do you have Karas or a way to Karas? Yes. Can you summon it? Do your opponent have a second Veiler? No. Oh, well, and that's it. It's just so easy.
It's linear.
So,
Yeah. I also think that like the format was better for Try 3 weeks ago than it is right now. There was a lot less Brankets 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And people are still playing like
True.
the Sky Striker, Salamangreat. It's like Striker's a weird matchup, but they're like unrefined decks that Try just beats because it's a better engine than the worst decks.
I still think it's a far better format to be playing the Zoo engine in it, though.
For sure.
I know.
Yeah,
that
I don't think that version is ever correct.
It's probably not.
No.
Yeah.
I
Those
think,
cards
like,
are crazy. It's just Zeus. That's like the problem card, right? Like
Yeah.
The Zoo conversion rate for this YCS was like so insane because if you look like there's like a bunch of Tri Brigade, but there's not a lot playing Zoo on day one.
Yep.
Mostly of the guys that play like your list, because your list is pretty similar. Yours like the Sam's and Baddy's list and the list you, Pierre, and Dudley played, and like a bunch topped. It's pretty insane considering how solved Tri Brigade was and everyone was set on cut.
I was really curious to see what the Tri-Zoo conversion rate itself was, but I could only ever see like people play Tri-Brigade and then people play Tritron. There wasn't a further breakdown.
Yeah,
I suspect it would have. I mean, in what was already one of the best conversion rate decks, I think Tri-Zoo would have been an insane conversion rate.
For sure. It became the standard list for now, I think. Like nowadays you see more Tri-Zoo than you see Cat Tri-Brigade. This is the impression I have. Okay, I need to ask this because it's going to be funny for Sam. Which did you guys lose during the event?
I lost to Raph twice, and I beat everyone else.
Hello!
Right.
Feels bad, man. I lost to Tri Brigade, Senna, but it's because I opened 0 prank kids. Like for like 3 turns. I survived against Tri Brigade for 3 turns. And I opened 0 prank kids. So it was like turn like 6 or 7. I'm like, bro, 1 prank kid, I literally win. And yeah, it is what it is. I'm not sad about it. So
it's fair enough. PAK, Raph.
I lost round I think it was 10 to the guy who got top 4 with Madolce.
Oh, you lost Madolce as well. Welcome.
Yeah, that match was crazy. Like I think one game I completely bricked. I had Karas plus like the non Tri-Brigade cards. So it was literally just like set two purple cards and pass, and he just played through it. And then game 2 I had Ash and he changed Call by the Grave, and I was like, okay, I have Nibiru, it's fine. So like further up in his combo on Nibiru, and then he discarded Orange Light and like the princess thingy, which apparently is a fairy, and I remember just being so shook that was a thing that they played, and I lost right then and there. Like I got destroyed. Like I had no idea what his deck was doing, or that he played Orange Light to counter Nibiru. Like I was very impressed. It didn't matter at that point because I was 9-0, but like it was what the fuck, this is crazy. I never want to face this guy again. And then when I saw him in top 4, I was actually scared that I would have to play against him in the final. Because like I was so like I had so like 0 chance against him in our match, and I lost to a Drytron guy. I lost to Tyrell, and then of course I got called by the Grave in game 2 as well. Like that, I think I lost 4 games the entire 4 or 5 games the entire like YCS, and 3 of them were to call by the Grave. That card is just so stupid.
It is.
There's
Called
so
by
many dumb cards in the
talents.
format.
I got called by into talents by a Drytron guy. I think that was like the peak of my day. I opened one hand trap, he called by the one hand trap, and he talent saw the hand. I'm like, yeah. I mean, what am I meant to do?
Unfair. That card's
I think I opened that once. Yeah. That was insane.
It's like, it's not meant. This is not
I
meant to
actually
work.
feel like order should also be banned, but I feel if I could only get one banned, I got to choose, I would pick Called by the Grave. Like I think Called by the Grave is such a dumb design card, especially at one. It's so like sometimes your hand traps are hand traps, and sometimes they're just blanks. Like it just defines deck building at that point. I hate it so much.
Yeah, I don't know if I hate Called by or Talents more. Both are hard. Talents feels more punishment. Yeah, Talents just like it feels so bad when they look at your hand. It is such a bad feeling. But Called by is like the strongest card.
Like, also like very very toxic on like another level. I don't know. I just don't see that realistically getting hit. But Call by the Grave should definitely be banned. Fuck that card.
Just this Call by one thing. Experiment has not worked. So I lost to Madoche on top 8, and I lost to Outer.
Is it the same guy?
Round 5. Yeah, the same guy.
It's the same guy, right? Yeah,
the same guy.
Okay,
and then I lost to Geist round 5.
Geist. Oh wow.
Yeah, that deck
it was a tournament. Yes.
Jesus, guys.
He had like Secret Village 3 judgments, and I'm like, yeah, sure. Like a marionette.
That's very skillful.
It is. I felt very outplayed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Betty most because he was basically playing the same list as he was playing exactly the same list as me, and he plays against like 2 Gravekeepers in a row, 4 Strikers day 1.
He played 2 Gravekeepers in a row. Was the
Striker's actually a bad matchup for Try.
That's not even work.
Yeah. Like,
imagine you sit at the table, your opponent goes Necro Valley Royal Tribute you. You're like, what?
No, I don't know how you win.
Yeah, just dumb decks. But did it like feel like a real YCS for you guys? Like in the sense of accomplishment, in the sense of compared to how normal it is? Because it's a bit different in the sense that it's online.
I mean, I was very outspoken like about like when I got top 16. I immediately said like, okay, to me this doesn't mean anything. Because it just remote duel in general, I've been shitting on it pretty hard since it became a thing. Just because I think there's so much like wrong with it, especially like, and I'm not even talking about like the cheating like aspect of that, because while I think it is in general like, if people want to cheat you remote duel, they are going to succeed. It doesn't matter how many like you make them cut 10 cards and put them on the
They're gonna cheat you IRL too.
Yeah,
you have more control
IRL, but like,
at least you feel
you have more control IRL. I think like there's nothing you can realistically do if he really wants to cheat you. But outside of the cheating part, my issue, like a lot of things I think that make Yu-Gi-Oh very skillful, like for the fact, like for example, I cannot see their eyes while they're playing. When I play cards, how they react, stuff like that. So if you would usually use, I would use in like by playing. All of that is gone. Like I think that it's so much less skillful. They have less pressure. Like if they play against me in like the bubble match of a YCS in round 11, most of the time they're super like nervous.
Yeah.
But they're sitting at home at their table, in their living room. I think that those are the biggest like issues I have with remote duel, which make it less skillful. So when I got top 16, I was like, I don't know. Like to me, like I don't really see this as like a real top, but I don't know, like what does make it like very real for me is the fact that a lot of people like think it is, or at least like I got the feeling like after the event, a lot of people like congratulating me, like, oh, congratulating you for a win, and it, like it started to feel more real. The pricing as well is kind of insane. The pricing is way better than a real YCS,
for sure.
like in real life YCS. So I don't know. I have very mixed feelings about it. The worst thing for me was after I won, I just like closed the Discord and I was just kind of sitting there because I've won before and like you just run to your friends who are standing next to like the feature match table and then you go to dinner and then you go to things I'm not gonna say on stream, but like you're gonna like party and stuff. But I was just like sitting there close to Discord. I was just like, huh,
It's over.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do orders now. I'm gonna do work. Like it felt so. That's what felt the most surreal. Like, and that's why I hope like, yeah, of course I enjoyed it because like it was very profitable. But I hope this never happens again. I just want like the events back, obviously, because yeah, it's really not my thing.
No,
Remote duel in general.
I can understand. So me and Sam, we played like Swiss. I mean, Swiss and Top 32 from like a friend's place. So we were together with a bunch of friends. So that I was very skeptical before, but then since we were like together with our friends, it felt real because everyone was getting hyped, everyone was getting happy, everyone jumped in the pool after. It felt like a normal YCS experience of like everyone celebrating, you know. But then like I won top 16, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm hopping in Discord, and I'm like, this just feels so dead. I wouldn't have made through the other one if I had to do this all by myself. So I guess it's like a decent alternative considering the times we are, but it's not. It doesn't feel that real in the sense, at least as happy as it would be if it was in person.
I mean, it's still it was. I'm not sure what the size of the NA one was, but it was nearly 1,800 people for us, right?
Yeah.
Like topping an 1,800 man event is not easy, but it doesn't feel like a proper event in any case.
Yeah, that is the thing I could see as an argument for like valuing it as an actual like premier top, because the amount of people who played them in like almost every continent is kind of insane.
Yeah.
Like in Europe we had like I think 3 people short of 1,800, which personally I didn't expect. Like when I got told this was announced, I felt like, okay, no one is gonna want to do this. It's gonna hit like 600, and then it hit 1,800. I think in the States it hit more, and then South America was like, I think it's our biggest event ever.
Yeah,
If
it was
you
the biggest.
compare it to like
Yeah.
in real life, yeah, that's kind of nuts. Like I did not expect that. Like I didn't
Yeah.
even realize that 2 weeks ago. I was like, okay, this is a little bit more real than I expected. Yeah,
That's fair.
definitely.
Yeah, I think from my end, I think America was like 19, but then in terms of like what
Yeah.
if it felt like a real YCS, I mean, not everyone has the same experience, but like I was pretty lucky. Like I had a Discord with a bunch of friends, so after every round we just like hung out.
Yeah.
So that made it feel more like, you know, that like the feeling of like having friends and like hanging out, like that feeling was still felt for me even though we weren't in person. And then in terms of like a YCS feeling, I don't know, like it still felt like crazy because it's just because you're playing from the home, from like your own home, your own comfort. I felt like having that 2-3 weeks was kind of weird for me, just because I was like, I was in the zone after I made top 16, and then I had to like get back into the zone when I was playing top 16 again, like 2 weeks later. So that was like kind of awkward.
Yeah,
But other than that, like
Also, someone in your chat says it was because of the entry, but that's not what I meant. Like it like the reason that those people enter it doesn't make it harder or easier to top that YCS, but the fact that you get more people closer towards the 2043, like the cutoff when they make a top 64, the closer you get to that, the harder it becomes to top.
Yeah.
So if you have
Yeah.
1,800 or 1,900 people, it means that I think in Europe we had like 14 X2s, 9-2s who didn't make it. Like that has
Didn't
been a
make it,
problem
yeah.
for a while.
That's
Yeah.
the average
Or in
European
Europe,
YCS experience.
yeah.
Exactly, and that's why that's I think is the one like big argument for counting it as like anything, or like, because that's kind of ridiculous still, and that's what made it very hard, and also that's not what I expected for this event at all. So like
Yeah.
actually getting to top cut was like, even though it is remote duel, it's kind of like still kind of like rough.
Bro,
Yeah.
I remember like round 11, I was still X1 at that point, and I was like, dude, I wasn't even like feeling good about
You're
it.
still
I
not
was
Yeah.
like,
guaranteed. It's
yeah, I
Same.
was like, I'm not
Yeah.
guaranteed. I have to win. Like I literally, there was
Yeah.
no, because everyone was like, oh my god, you're guaranteed in. Like,
Yeah.
yo, you're chilling. I'm like, bro, I gotta win.
Yeah,
I'm not even like gonna
2016
be like
you
smooth
would be
sailing.
guaranteed. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
grew beyond that.
Yeah, I'm not taking chances after like London last year. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing this again.
Yeah, it's like PTSD from all the bubbling. You're like,
Literally,
no.
nah. If I go X on top again, I'm gonna murder
Bubbling
someone.
on 9-2, like it
Yes.
shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, either like you get class as a top, but don't move on to like actual knockout, and you get like the mat or whatever shitty prize, and you get a
That
top
doesn't
64
even
or whatever,
solve it.
or they just play an extra round of Swiss or extend the top cut to 64
Yeah.
for like it's above 1600 where it normally ends up
Yeah.
being. Like,
I mean, but
loads
then
of
on top
extras,
on top 64 they make an extra round, and then like half of the X3s bubble out. which is still better than bubbling out on X2 at least.
yeah.
But
like,
it's still like kind of shitty.
But if you're going X3 in 11 rounds, if you don't make it, you kind of
on 12. It's extra on 12.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But still.
I think the thing that was interesting for me was if you looked at the prize support, like if you made top 16, it's like getting second at a YCS. If you conceptually just think about that, like that was insane to me. Like and because the value of prize cards have increased since the pandemic, like I almost feel like there's almost some sort of like I don't what's the best word? Like you can actually like get something from winning now, you monetary wise, if that's your goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying everyone's like gonna sell their stuff, but at the end of the day is like it's just that it feels like you're actually getting more, and it's translating. If I think about it from an esports perspective, like that's a good sign, right? That prize support is getting better. But I mean that's like not even a Konami thing, you know?
Yeah, no, but I wouldn't expect this to like just be like a trend because like I think the fact that they made top 16 give the golf top 16 a prize card is just because they didn't have to host any of the nationals, and they have like less YCSs. They don't have Euros or NAWCQ. Which usually, in those events, like the top 32 gets one, they just have a big pile of them.
Yeah.
So I hope this will be like a trend, but I think the first YCS back, it's still like super rare for top 3.
Standard, right?
And the winner gets an ultra. Yeah.
They still increased the consoles at least, right? Because like top 16 got switches.
Yes.
No, top 8 got switches, right?
Top 8 switch, top 4
PS4.
Switches, it was normal.
PS5.
But
is it not?
Prize cards.
Oh, PS5, yeah.
Oh yeah.
PS5 as well. Yeah. Also, we actually get packs for some packs. Again.
Wow, you got 12 packs of Lightning.
You get to top 8.
I think the packs are an insult. To be honest, I think the packs are an insult.
The guy,
I think they should give you a case. I think you should give you a case.
100%.
Like at least
you get top 8 at YCS and you get half a box of the 2 most recent sets. Like that's
bro. PAK and I won. We got 36 boosters of each like set.
No.
Blazing Vortex and Lightning Overdrive. Like.
Did you get an email from Konami asking for the language of your packs? I got one yesterday.
I did.
I'm like, I don't even want to answer this. Don't even bother.
I was like, this is so sad. Like 36 boosters for winning an 1800-man event. Yeah. Like, come on.
I mean, it's product as well, right? So it should, in theory, be super cheap for them to produce it.
Yeah.
So like, why don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
I think the thing is they had so many to give on entry, right? That's probably what it is. They gave 9,000 packs. 9,000 packs a lot?
They made bank on this event, and that's like my fear. Why they will do this again?
Yeah.
Because it's so cheap for them.
Yeah, there is no
because
venue.
They don't have to get a venue.
I could not see myself choosing to enter this over like a 60-man locals on the weekend. Like I would vastly enjoy the locals more than I would at YCS.
I mean, it's just the money, right? The money opportunity is very big at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like it's not easy to top the YCS, but it was mad profit for all of us.
If you do, it's like top 16 gets a prize card 1K. Like that's
good money for the weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was expecting to like lose in top 16 so I could go local. So when I won, I was like,
"Oh damn!
I'm gonna miss."
I did not,
bro.
Dude, I was.
When can you go again? In 3 weeks?
No. This was a different logo.
Oh, okay. But yeah, still, I think they might like transition to something like this with the new game at some point. Like that's another thing I is slightly afraid if they see like if they are so lucrative to run it this way, if they ever start running more digital YCSs, more digital tournaments.
No, I don't think, because if you think about the grand scheme of okay, so we'll do quick math. Like let's say 2,000 people enter. I'm just gonna round up, and like they make $20 on entry, right? So it's 20 times 2,000, it's $40,000. Bro, Konami's like a multi-billion-dollar company, right? Like I don't think they really make money from it. Maybe they like recover some like costs on somewhere, but I don't think they make real money from it, you know?
Now, YCSs cost money. Like they don't make money from YCSs. YCSs are like a marketing.
YCS usually what I got told that it costs money.
Yeah.
But I think that's fine. I mean, that's what
it's a marketing thing. Like, yeah. Like you host YCSs so people buy product. Like they want to get the best cards. They spend money on like getting Pot of Prosperity, getting Tactics, getting those cards, right? That's why they do it. It's a marketing thing. So that's why like I don't think they're not gonna be like, oh, we're not gonna do IRL YCS,
Oh.
or they're gonna do only whatever anymore. You know?
Nah, I doubt they will cut it, but I could see them like trying the approach again because it was less of a mess than I expected it to be. Like
The first two rounds were a mess. I know you and Raph, you had you
yeah.
had your bites, but it was grim for rounds 1 and 2.
I was sleeping.
Oh, was it? Oh yeah, I don't know. I wasn't bad, bro.
I wasn't bad as well.
Yeah.
I wasn't at
Damn,
10th.
I hate you guys. Yeah, I
Good
didn't
life,
play the
good
the
life.
VIP thing, so I had to play the first 2 rounds.
I
Yeah,
played the
it's the worst.
I played the 6-man VIP. It was the best thing ever. This VIP
Thank
thing
God,
is so broken.
good.
The Americans were doing it correctly all along. I never want to play
I
round 1
never-
and 2 again.
Never
Yeah.
want to see a small event on the Friday that gives you 2 buys of the YCS ever again. If that translates to real events, I'm going to be.
I don't
it's
see
not-
a small
I'm-
event,
Yeah,
but if like
I do not think that's a good idea, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like, I already think it's
Yeah.
kind of weird that they have that in America because of the UDS system.
Mm.
Like,
I think the UDS things
Buys
are
are kind of unfair
bad.
because like they give you good tiebreakers, and like right now tiebreakers are so important. I think it's kind of unfair. Like I had them
Yeah.
personally, but I still think they're unfair.
Yeah, like if you're
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
extra in an American, like in an European YCS, you're guaranteed the 2 victories, then you basically have an extra victory in the extra bubble. Because you can make it
Yeah.
on X2 when most people can't.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Okay. What else we have to talk about? So how like going forward, how like you guys finding the format? Because it's a weird one. It's not like the worst Yu-Gi-Oh format we ever had, but it also doesn't feel like super good to play, in the sense that a lot of the games are still decided on turn 1, but it's not like combo decks. So you have like more alternatives. I think Tri-Brigade
Yeah.
is a frustrating deck in the format in a way, because it's not super
I hate
good,
it.
but it's also pretty oppressive when it resolves if you're playing anything but Prankeds.
Someone pointed out to me that in general, no deck aside from Tri-Brigade feels too overpowered, but every single mirror of every single meta deck feels horrific to play.
I mean, just
Yeah.
mirrors are normally bad, right? Like historically, it's hard to find good mirror matches. There's
To a
some.
point, but like
Yeah.
Tri-Brigade mirror is horrible.
Is awful. The Drytron mirror is awful.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
I'm not
The
sure what
prank.
the Pranks mirror is like. I've not really.
It's
I
horrible
think
as
it's
well.
winnable in the Pranked mirror, but still pretty bad.
That matchup is also just bad.
Yeah,
you gotta do like a butler out.
You can open your hands. You can look at both hands and go, okay, so you'll win this one. Let's just go
Yeah.
game 2.
Yeah.
And each deck that's
I mean, if it's just a mirror match, it's fine, because like most previous formats, you could just open the hands and you'd see the winner between any 2 decks. So you're already
Yeah.
going. It's slightly better.
true enough,
Like
to be honest.
Prank Kids against Try is a matchup like has a lot of back and forth. You can kind of break. Dragon's a deck that allows that. Virtual to a certain extent. It's just Drytron.
Yeah.
I think like if this format didn't have Drytron, it would feel so much better to play. Drytron just forces you to.
I wish Drytron
it's just
should
because
not be a deck.
Drytron is like it requires such different cards than all the other decks. Like
Yeah.
for our build, like Herman and Pierre, Deadly, like we just chose to ignore Drytron game 1 because like the cards like Phantasme and stuff are so good against like all of the decks except Drytron that we still want to have that over like something that works against everything, because it just didn't make sense to like main deck stuff for that.
Yeah.
But like it makes it kind of awkward when you play against them actually, because you have like dead cards in your deck against it. But
Yeah.
it's there, I guess.
And Drytron is just playing in a way they're like so going for eccentric that like you need to play like 18 hand traps, and they have like talents called by instant fusion both side, and it's just so much is
Yeah.
out of our
Yeah,
control.
They can do it all.
Yeah.
It
So
ju-
bad. I think my
it's
issue with like decks like Dytron in any format, any heavy combo deck, is that like whenever you build your decks to like beat that deck, then your deck just like loses to everything else, and it's so awkward. I don't know, like, and you see that when you like main deck certain hand traps, the power ceiling of like a lot of these hand traps go down drastically. You know, like it's just like so weird. I don't know. I hate it.
I don't think there's a good solution. I think like looking back, I think the best choice for the YCS was probably Prankets. I felt that like a week before. I just really didn't want to play Prankets. I didn't feel comfortable in it, and I hate
Yeah.
playing it with a passion. But I
Yeah.
think it's at least the one deck that like does enough going first, and that can play a main enough non-engine to deal with the other decks. But now I think everyone's already adapting to Prankets, so it always depends what step of the metagame
It's
you're on.
over. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like it will change like every week now.
Yeah, because nothing's like
Yeah.
nothing's like super better as an engine than the others, except Drytron. But then Drytron has its own issues by nature,
Walls.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. It's not a real Yu-Gi-Oh deck. It's a solitary machine.
Yeah.
Did you get any questions from chat? I was gonna ask in the end, but if anyone asks anything, I was not reading it.
Yeah. If there's any question from you guys from the Twitch chat, if you guys have
Yeah.
anything as well. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think the YCS was a good experience. Like I said, it was only because I had people in the Discord, like, and I hung up with them after the fact, like after every game. Like, I think if I didn't have like a good support system or like good friend group, it would be it would be awful. Like,
Yeah, I think like the main reason we feel good about Yu-Gi-Oh is like our friends at the end of the day. Like, the money is good, but it doesn't work by itself. I like when I'm talking, my friends are hyped, everyone's happy. It's not just the cash.
Yeah, it's very much a social game. Like, I'm pretty sure most people experience playing the YCS remotely was pretty shit. But...
Yeah. I mean, it made me hyped to have events again. I can't wait to have a real event, I guess. Because it
was a nice
way.
like taste, right? Like, it was like, damn, like, yo, it's like things are like, even though it was remote, I felt nice to play competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Because like this was my second YCS, so I was just hyped to play competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I don't know. Like, for me, I was like, damn, this is gonna be sick.
You won your second YCS, fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice that they at least did something. Hopefully we'll see some events. I mean, organized play resumed already officially in Europe, in the US.
Yes. Yeah.
So
yeah, we
events
have locals. We have 4 locals a week now. So hype.
Yeah, we did locals this weekend.
I can't believe you went to locals after you won. That's insane.
No, I wanted to, but like I didn't have time anymore because I won. But if I lost top 16, I would have gone straight to locals.
No, like 25 men locals just feels so good again. Just like showing up to locals, playing 4 rounds.
Bro, OTS 16 is insane.
It is.
I'm on 70 packs without an ultimate already. So at some point I'm bound to get a drop.
Yeah, I had those streaks as well. Yeah. Hey, PAK, you get a lot of questions in your stream, by the way.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, we're getting a bunch of questions. Ask Raph what's like being the best in the chat. Clown alert. Yeah, he's always trolling TJ Parker. He's always trolling. So I don't know, guys. So what are some lesser known tips for becoming more competitive at the game?
I feel you just gotta like surround yourself with.
Yeah, academy.
Yeah, I guess that works. But it kind of goes with what I was gonna say. That like just surround yourself with people that are better than you. It's probably the best way.
Yeah.
Like you need a good friend group.
Really important.
Yeah.
Like people like who have the same goal as you. Like if you all want to top your first YCS, it will like create a very like effective like circle. But if you like, there's nothing wrong with like chilling with people from your locals that play more casual, have less goals. But if you really want to like get to like your next step or like in this game, you just need to find people who have the exact same goal, because like they're probably going to be willing to like work as hard, put as much time in, and yeah, that's just very effective. So like finding those people and actually like testing with those people, kind of people, are like that's important.
Yeah, I feel we got so many options nowadays as well, because like now we have coaching, we have DP, which is like an insane platform to learn. You have all of the YouTube content, so nowadays you have like a bunch of different options. So you just gotta like see what works for you. Some people like learn a lot by just playing and doing mistakes. Some people learn by seeing other people play. So I guess it just varies from person to person.
Yeah, I mean, you'll work out what works for you best after you've tried all the things that Gabriel just said, right? There's going to be something that you're potentially not as good at as you need to be, and it's just
I think the best tip I can give would be to like watch other like better players than you, like watch them play. Like I remember like I would go on DB and watch like some of the betters like play and just like hit the replay after and see their hand, see how they sequence. And then also, like, when you play, like, watch your replays after, and then see how you played your hand out and, like, was it the right way? I think, like, a lot of people shy from, like, saying, oh, I made a mistake, and a lot of people get, like, really flustered when people call you out for making the wrong play or something. But I never took it that way. I always was like, okay, like, all right, so what is the better play? You know what I mean? I think it's just a mentality thing. It's, like, a mindset thing, right? Like, I like, a good example would be, like, Gabriel, you were just on... Like, you were on stream, like, I think, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
And you were going through, like, all the plays of, like, what people were doing in, like, the NA YCS, and you were like, oh, maybe this play would be better, maybe this play would have been better, or something like that. But like that discussion, that like dialogue of like, you know, figuring out like what's the most optimal line, etc., so that you see it. It's like a game of repetition, right? You see it enough times so that when you do get in like those high pressure situations again, you're like more inclined to make the right decisions. And that's just like something that's like not easy to teach, because like you don't always get put in high like pressure situations, right? You're not always in a top 8 or whatever, but you put yourself in like more positions to like get there or like be in those situations again and again, and that's all it is really.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think watching replays, like, a bunch of people just like lose and they just like blame variance, blame whatever. But sometimes you can be unlucky, and you could also have done something to prevent it. Or like you can be unlucky, but there was a line that could have won the game. Or a lot of the games, like you win, you threw into certain cards. Like, oh, he didn't have nib, but if he had nib, I did the one line that lost to it. So yeah, just watching back.
Bro, the worst feeling is after like a tournament, you have that one friend that comes back. They're like, "Bro, I just got sacked." You know,
they just complain every round. They got sacked like every round. They're like X4.
Every round got sacked.
Hearing people blame losses on variance is like a funny thing, a weird thing, because I always want to go, was it really variance? Was it just, you know, just one of those things? Maybe deck's not built correctly. True variance is like playing against 2 Gravekeepers in a row while you're playing Tri Brigade or YCS.
That is variance.
That's definitely true variance. Yeah.
Like Drytron is variance. Like whenever you lost to Drytron, probably it wasn't your fault.
Yeah.
Someone asked why neither of us played Drytron. I like deciding the fate of my Yu-Gi-Oh games, or at least trying to influence it.
Bro, that if you win all your dice rolls, like, that's the best deck.
Yeah.
I just was not confident.
I think people were like too scared of it and overcompensated for it. Like as a card.
Yeah, and like it was super targeted as well. I felt by side decks.
Like Droll obviously just turns off most of their play, and that's why they started playing Dragoon. But like Cycle Reader as well, I didn't side it because I think that's way too much for one specific matchup. But that card literally turns off 99% of Drytron turns, and you can't really afford to.
I think that's not even the main issue. I mean, in my point of view, like going first, I think you can beat everything. The issue is just the deck can't go second. Like it doesn't function as an engine going second. So you're putting so much faith in variance. You're putting so much faith in winning rolls.
An FTK against them.
Yeah, it's an FTK.
And the other thing is, you also lose to like people randomly main decking hate for your deck. Like I've gotten main deck drolled, Psycho Reader. Like it's ridiculous, bro. Like people just hated that deck, and you lose to that variance game 1, 2, even if you sometimes win the dice, and then post side it's so bad. Like it's so scary, right? Like even if there's some hands where like you can't play around droll, there's some hands where you can't play around Psycho Reader, and like I said, it's just like you leave it to the fate of like how well your opponent draws. And I hated that. I hated that feeling.
Yeah, because then like, what's the point of me practicing, right? Like, I like playing decks that I'm influencing the game, influenciating the game state. Like, there is a difference between if I'm playing it or someone worse than me is playing it. If my Drytron guy, if I'm playing Drytron, I open Alpha Zeta Call by Talent. I don't need to be very good, do I? Like, just do the thing. There's one line.
Yeah.
Okay, what else do we have for questions? Let's see. What was your most memorable plays during the YCS? Anything you can remember? Like, funny?
Bro, I still will talk about this. Top 32 YCS, bro. I stared down Crystal Wing, Caliga. I'm still shocked that one. Like, no hand traps. And I remember, like, I literally was like, activate place, normal summon a kid. He's like, Chuche, I chain Cosmic. I'm like, I made the link 1. I reduced his Crystal Wing. And then I set and I passed. And I drew Nib for turn, so I was sick.
Okay.
And then my opponent just like played badly into his own Caliga because he didn't have Qinglong to out his own Caliga. So he was like under his own Caliga. So I was like, oh, I'm lit. He's under his own Caliga. He can't beat me. So anyways, a series of events happens. He passes back to me. And then I was like, okay, normal summon a prank kid, place reduces Crystal Wing again. And I made the bird, search another field spell, activate it, relink to another bird, and I reduced the Crystal Wing to 15. I attacked over it, and then it was just game. After that, I just had Butler. And then he just couldn't do nothing. So I was like, I don't know, I was like, damn, yo, like that was insane. I was like, game 3, I literally thought I lost, and I came out of it. So.
Oh yeah, the game 3 on top 32. It's like probably the most tense game, right? Because that game is like by a bunch of money.
Yeah, no, I was like, I was terrified. I thought I lost, dude. Like my face was like dropped when I looked at my hand. I'm like, no hand trap, draw for turn, nib. I'm like, dude, it was the worst feeling.
Nah, I remember I had one boot sector into Tri Brigade like full board, and then like I boot for Tracer for like Synchron, quad borrowed a rule go, summon 3 back, then like Chaos Ruler hit like Levy, Safer, Chaos Space Router or some dumb thing like that. And then it just like broke everything with like one boot from grave. It was definitely
Chaos
top-
Ruler is
top
just
one.
LP, right?
It is LP. It is LP on crack. It's LP. LP came back.
It's LP
Of
copy.
course, so insane.
Yeah, it had some fun moments. A lot of them happen because people misplay. I feel people misplay so much more like in remote duos and in DB. At least that's like
I
it seems
think
like the
it's
level
because of
place-
time. It might be because of time pressure. Because on DB, you have significantly way more time to think. Like you
Yeah.
take maybe even 1 minute is too long. Like because and when you play IRL, I feel like you get maybe 20 seconds per play, and a lot of people like don't make the right decisions in those 20 seconds. But it comes down to practice and repetition, right? So, I mean, it's hard to make the right play too, also under pressure. So it's not like a bad thing if they don't make the right play because it is hard, but it's tough. I definitely experienced that. There were so many games. There was like 2 games I remember I should have lost that literally made the difference between me going like X3 and X1. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm glad those people misplayed, but I was like, yo, if I was on dueling mode, I don't know if they would have misplayed. So-
I don't think you can top an event if everyone plays optimally against you. To be honest, 'cause,
Yeah,
like
I think
you
it's
shouldn't
impossible.
have
Yeah.
you shouldn't have a win
you
rate
need
of like
definitely,
80%.
luck as well.
You need
Yeah.
people to misplay. You need to force them to misplay. Not everyone's on the same level, so you need
Yeah.
stuff to go your way.
Yeah.
That goes for everything, for top cut, for topping, for not going extra dropping day 2. Like
Yeah.
You definitely need to have like a decent list and play well yourself, but luck is such a huge factor in actually making it. In the
I mean,
first place,
Oh
think.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
in one event at least, like you can see consistency like throughout,
Oh yeah.
but at one event, like you can't say, "Oh, I suck at the game because I didn't top one event." Sometimes it just happens. It can happen to everyone.
Yeah.
You can play correctly and get punished. You can play super incorrectly and get lucky. Sometimes it's just the way
Like,
it goes.
like not ashing Shadow Fusion.
How did it not ash Shadow Fusion on the bubble? Your opponent goes Shadow Fusion. You're like,
No,
yes.
it was top 32, and they.
It gets worse.
Went okay, and before I realised it was that. But yeah, I shouldn't have won that game.
I would be so tilted if I lost someone who didn't ash Shadow
I was
Fusion.
looking
I'll
at
be
the
honest.
ash and I was thinking I've just thrown away $1,000 because I'm
Yeah.
an idiot. It was really sad.
Just Sam things. It just work somehow. Some dark magic. What else? There was like a bunch of questions that I scrolled down.
Yeah. There's like a bunch. I was trying to see.
Is there like any other events you guys are looking forward? Because now it feels kind of dead. Because I think like the LCS.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost Raph. He'll come back in a bit. The LCS is feel
there's
like
a
less
3v3
prestigious.
coming up.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I'll play
It's
it.
a 3v3. Yeah.
But after like at least the last couple, it feels like they're losing the thing they had before because there were no Konami events, so they were like the only reference.
Mm.
Now they're getting
Yeah.
smaller, and they feel like now that I can go outside, it feels weird sitting in my place playing DB.
I mean, I think that's a harsh reality of it. Like, I like the LCSs, but if people have to choose between going to locals or playing on DB for an LCS, a lot of people choose to go to locals or even a case tournament. You know what I mean, nearby.
Yeah.
So that it is tough, and that's something that like people are definitely noticing for sure. But I think I'm hoping for another big tournament, to be honest. Like, I'm hoping for another YCS in person remote. Like, I'm just down. But the thing for me right now is kind of like the format is kind of like boring because I feel like that tournament was kind of like the signal of an end of a format in the way I looked at it. And now that people got all this information, like the format's gonna change again, but it's still the same decks. People are just playing different tech cards. It's so it's like still boring. I'm just interested to see new decks, to be honest, from like what is it, Burst of Destiny. That's what I'm really looking forward to right now.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. It has like a bunch of new stuff, and it has the searcher card, has the worm archetype. We just need like new blood. I feel like we're playing the same decks forever.
Yeah,
I just feel like we'll have a semi kind of eternal format until Burst at this point. Like, we won't have like new decks. We'll just have potentially a small ban list affecting current decks, but current decks will continue being the best one.
If I see a Prankage resolving one more time, I just can't stand it. I'm like, no.
Yeah, dude, it's like that's the thing. It's like it's the same thing over and over. The engine doesn't stay it stays the same, and it's like you're changing hand traps on like new decks and stuff like that. And that's like the thing that I just wish that there was maybe more sets or more product getting released earlier, especially closer to like balance season, so that we can have like new things, kind of like Hearthstone, like rotations,
Yeah.
really, or like other games where like Magic, where like they have rotation aspects, because it's just people. I feel like our attention span has been destroyed because of the internet and the pandemic, and I don't know. I'm just always like down to try something new. Like, not
Yu-Gi-Oh
that
just
any of these decks are
gets.
solved, but I don't know.
I think format just gets solved so much faster with DB. So for example,
Oh,
for
it
the
is. It
remote
is. Yeah.
for the remote dual YCS, I think like it was very fun deck building for it because there's not a lot of reference. So a lot came from my own testing, a lot came from what I did. But then like
Yep.
after 3 weeks, I think everyone. So someone
Yeah.
top like one of the tournaments with Alyssa. It was basically what I was playing for the YCS. It's like
Yeah.
someone also got to the conclusion that was the way to play, and it's like now everything, most of the things are solved. Now we're changing tech cards.
Yeah, I think people realize that like when tournaments are close to banlist season, or like the week after a banlist, and then the banlist is fresh, that's when like that's like the best part of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Because you get like really smart people like coming up with like really crazy decks, crazy ideas. Decks like, for example, like Dragon Link, that everyone thought was dead, right? It was still playable, right? Like, it's just really cool to see that format's undefined. People don't know what's really happening, and that's like the cool part about it. Yeah, a lot of people didn't know about Poly and Kids. Yeah.
Yeah, somehow. Okay, I want to ask this. How did you end up playing Poly and Exceed? Because most people end up with one of them. I was curious.
Yeah, no, it was so I was like testing with like Scott, Cam, like Gunther, like Colin, and everyone, and we basically we found ourselves losing to the Ash Blossom a lot, and Parallel was just like an insane card that beat that, and then the Dweller was just like a good card in like the Dytron matchup too. So basically, like, it made it like if I won the dice roll, because the issue against Dytron was sometimes you make Butler and you still don't win that matchup. So it's actually very frustrating. And then people who played the Lyreless Bird was also really annoying because that by itself baited two like Butler pops. So having Dweller just like secured that game, and then we literally had to play through anything to play through a single Ash, literally. And then for Poly, I was like, because at first I thought Poly was like really bad. Like, I mean, like the math doesn't support the card for sure, but in practice it was like really good. And so like the cool thing that I figured out eventually was that any kid in Poly was either a Dweller or a Toad, because you just swap around either making 2 Waters or 2 Roxys. And then I was just like, oh, like even though like you open one kid, Poly is still live. So I was like, it's not the worst. And that's why that was like a 2 of in my list, because I was like, it's fine. And then we just basically tried to play as many cards as possible that beat Ash, because I was just so afraid of that card. Like, I don't know.
That's fair. I guess like Poly's also good going second, right? Poly 2 Kids does break Appaloosa Revolt, apparently.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
somehow.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it beats Appaloosa Revolt, but only if you have place. Actually, it's like really hard if you don't. Like, if I remember correctly, if you open like place, Kid, and then Poly, it beats it. But if you don't open the plates, it gets kind of awkward. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's still interesting. At least I felt like Brankets had like room. I feel like a lot of people are playing different lists.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's
everyone was playing a different list.
Poly, there's Desires, there's people main talents now.
I played the mirror match and the dude had contact C, bro. Like, I was getting contact C, and in the mirror, I was like,
You
and
didn't play Alsa
after,
as well,
like,
right?
You what?
You didn't play Alsa, right? You didn't play like
I didn't play also. I didn't expect it. I'm like, bro, like, Zoo just got banned. Like, literally, why would you need to worry about context C? Like, that's like, I mean, I would say it's like playing Cycle Reader, but Cycle Reader is more justifiable because people expect Dytron. But it's like playing like a specific hand trap for a specific deck, right? So I don't know.
That's fair. I mean, it's still good. It's good to try as well. Not lovely, but
oh yeah, try is nice. Yeah, summon back like, is it like Rugal? I guess if it's properly summoned, which most of the time it is properly summoned, and then you have like Karis, make Unicorn or something for sure.
It's hard to contact. Try play True Contact, especially around the Barrage.
Yeah,
Barrage doesn't do anything. Barrage tournament's a brick.
In the Zoo extra deck as well, there's just no space to run like an Alsa or literally anything to get rid of the contact C. So you're literally turning off the Revolt and the rest of their plays as well. It's
I think Max played contact in top 4 in Europe. It's just okay in the mirror. Yeah. But now you can see like it's already adapted. Like if I was gonna play the tournament, I'd probably just play a completely different list.
Yeah, for sure.
Then if I would like, even play the same deck or like the same contact, I should practice again and test everything again. Yeah. What else? How much time we have?
I guess. Oh, I do have a question actually for
sure.
us. If you guys were to play the YCS again, like, I guess knowing what you know now, like, what would you like change about your list? Or not even like something, maybe like not the entire thing, but like what cards, like what did you feel, like general things? Because obviously, can't just pull our list up, but
Yeah. So I over prepared for Prankits for 3 weeks ago because my testing circle was all playing Prankits and I knew it was very good, so I prepped a lot for it. But then no one played Prankits.
Yep.
So I don't know if I was just ahead of the curve and then it didn't work because those cards are better to the rest of the things, or maybe that's just the list you need to play now. But I think you need to respect. I mean, if we're gonna change, probably just respect Drytron a bit more. I beat Drytron twice, but it didn't feel comfortable. It felt like just fortunate. But I think the deck choice was fine. I would probably play it again.
Sam, anything?
I think I would play Psycho Reader over Joel.
Yeah.
I think Joel underperformed. I think Psycho Reader is so much better.
And especially with Dragoon, because Dragoon wasn't popular 3 weeks ago, and now it is.
Yeah.
Psycho Reader is better usually.
Yeah. Psycho Reader is also just much better, like, after turn 1. Like, you know when you, like, stop them enough so they don't have anything, but you can't kill them, and then they have a grave full of Drytrons. Like, in that turn that you have to pass towards them, the Psycho Reader is so much better than Joel.
Yeah.
Because you draw them in turn 3, you just get Zeused, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely play Psycho Reader in my list now.
That's fair. Sam?
I think that I wrote off the Tri-Mirror as literally something that happens and you can't really think too much about it. And so I probably would have played a little bit more into, you know, I probably would have looked at Bell and thought, oh, if I'm maining this to deal with a revolt when I could be like maining another Phantasmia as Raph was. I'm not sure if you were maining it or not, but like also something to just deal with like the interruptions on my turn. So either a Droplets or Chalice would have been a very, very nice card.
I really like Chalice.
Yeah, I like Chalice too. I wish I played it.
Me too.
That's what's gonna upload like a updated version of the list. I played a week after the YCS, like the first part, and it's completely different. Like in Maniac Cosmic Cyclone, like it's Sidex Chalice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like Cosmic Cyclone is also such a good card. I would have liked. I think.
Yeah. There's a funny moment. There's a top 4 game that I think Johannes goes Storm, and then you flip Order, then he Droplet sends the Storm, and then you thought the Storm like destroyed everything because you started like picking up the whole back row.
That's what he told me. Yeah.
He said it?
He said like, okay, so.
Oh.
Yeah, because he thought that as well.
Yeah.
Like he said, okay, Storm resolves. I'm like, okay.
Because we were watching it, we were like, no shit. There's no way. Because if you change Revolt, maybe then you just lose the game.
I don't know if you saw it. Like I went to like read the order because like it was updated text. It said I was like, spell effects in the field, spell effects in the field. But he was very adamant about it as well. Like I think he really thought that it worked like that, and it also made me think it would work like that. And then I randomly heard another judge like came into the call and said like, "That's not how it works."
Yeah. I guess you can get confused because it's similar to Skill Drain the text, but it works differently.
Yeah, the card text different is like effects versus card. Like it says spell effects instead of like spell card. If it says spell card, then you would have been bodied.
I remember
everyone's got
like the judge in our call also didn't like immediately say anything. So it was the second judge that came into the call that actually said like, "Hey, it doesn't work like this," and then the other judge confirmed, "Oh yeah, it doesn't work like that." But like I don't know, that was a bit of a weird situation. Yeah, that actually saved my ass. Like if if that actually worked, I would have been dead.
Because we were watching it, we were like, oh shit, no way. Because the worst case is if you like change Revolt and then it goes down bad because then like it's technically okay. Like even if the storm didn't resolve, you'd have wasted the Revolt.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Poor Johannes though, like I completely sacked him. Like I was kind of dirty.
You flashed that order into the camera at the start of your turn, so everyone knew it was an order, and they're just waiting for it to happen.
The camera angle was horrific.
You're like, yo, don't matter if you look at my
hand. Like when I had multiple like games in Top Cut that was like, or is there a mosquito here? Like that, they said like, okay, you cannot show private information, blah blah blah. I was like, okay. So I keep my hand like here.
Yeah.
But then we're like, no, your cards need to be visible on the map. So like, okay, I keep them here. And then like the game after, please don't show private information. Like there was like no, I don't know. I just don't have a lot of experience with remote duel, but like I was either
Yeah.
showing my entire hand to my opponent, or I was not like showing my cards in hand, and both of the things I couldn't do. So
It's not your fault. It's because of the camera angle they make you use. The
Bro,
camera angle they make you use is so bad.
my deck the
Yeah.
whole entire time on stream I was holding like this. It was
Nah.
so bad. I was
Yeah.
like literally holding it like this.
I just
so
looked.
bad.
I looked so dumb on camera because I was doing my best to not
Yeah.
show cards. And while that man,
Yeah.
the guy that I played on top 16, he just looked at his deck like this with his hands like in the mat, so he could see like the whole deck while he was searching. He could just like card count.
Yeah.
Nah, the camera angle is
I
horrible.
feel like I don't know. I
You
feel
gain
like
so
I've
much
seen so many
information.
people flash that I literally I didn't practice, but I kind of like watch what like I just knew where the angle was, so I was just like doing my best to never show anything because that's such like you get literally so like you reveal first of all you get in trouble, that's the first thing, and then the second
Yeah.
thing you just revealed free info, so it's like it's a double negative, and then you're
Yeah.
just like sick.
It's so easy as well because I think we were watching our games yesterday, like the NA ones. You just hear opponent like draw Nipfort and he just flashes it to the camera and draws. You're like, oh, okay, now I know you have.
No,
a
okay,
card.
you know what the worst part was? When my opponent apparently was flashing his hand, I didn't even see it, bro. so I literally, the judge came in and was like, "Oh yeah, you're flashing your hand." I'm like, what the hell? I didn't even see it. So
Nah.
I'm sure they saw something, but
They
I
s-
was like, because the thing was like when I'm focusing on trying to combo, right? So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm trying to make sure I like put my cards in the right zone, like combo right, and then I'm like, then I look up and I'm like, oh, like wait, he's getting a judge call? Like wait, what's happening? And I'm like, okay, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know, I
I've-
was just like, yeah.
I think it was the nib because because like he drew it from the top of his deck and then he flipped it while drawing it so everyone could see it. You probably didn't see it.
Oh.
Playing is harder. But yeah, that's probably what the
Yeah.
call was about. But it's insanely bad. The worst thing is when you see their hand and you know you're fucked. You know you just lost. You're like, oh,
Yeah. Oh.
I got this
You
knowledge.
see their hand and you know you lost. That's the worst feeling too.
I'm like, my Drytron opponent drew, and his hands was like in the middle, and that was a game I saw Alpha Zeta called by talents. I'm like, what am I meant to do? What?
Oh my god.
What is my option?
That's rough.
But yeah, hopefully we can go back to in-person play because I can't stand this anymore.
Yeah.
I
Were you
literally
guys
anything.
nervous playing on stream at all, or no? Did you like not care?
Not really.
Because I know like a lot of people like get nervous. Like I know someone in my chat was like mentioning like I think 2 streams ago they were like, oh, I felt like you had an edge playing on feature because you stream, right? Like, you know, so you're as comfortable on camera or whatever. But I was like, I don't know. Like what was your experience with it?
I
Were you
think
guys like damn or no?
I
don't
think
know.
some people just get like more nervous in general. I can understand like why would you get nervous in stream because you have like 4 judges and you have production crew and you're doing a different angle and then everyone is seeing everything you do. So if you overthink
Yeah.
it too much, I don't know. I just didn't
Yeah.
think about it. I just played like a normal match. At least that's
I
my
think
Yeah.
point of view.
I've been on a Konami stream a few times before. I was extremely nervous the first time, but after that,
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, I've done it once. All right now, like you get used to it.
Mhm.
I think it's more an issue about like the stakes itself rather than being on camera. Like that can
Yeah.
Yeah.
make you nervous, especially because like if you either get memed in the match or you make a big misplay,
Yeah.
it's over. You'll never hear the end of it.
Yeah. Niall's still
Yeah.
known by the guy that normal summoned Dash Blossom.
Yes, true. And I'm still known as Mega Fleet Guy.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't your
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can understand why people get nervous. It's high stakes. But I think the game that I really got nervous was Top 32. Because I was playing Virtual and I was
Oh.
like, I have no input whatsoever.
Well, dude, that
And I was
deck
just-
it's basically Dytron but less consistent.
It-
I hate
it's
that deck.
it's Tritron, but every time they don't break, I feel offended. They're just meant to break.
Yeah.
Like they break like
Yeah.
1 out of every 4. Surely
No,
it has to
so
happen.
that you know what's the guy that I played in top 8, the guy who bricked game 3, he
Yeah.
was the same person I played round 11, and I was sweating already at round 11. So when I had to play him again, I'm like, bro, not again. Like yo, but he didn't break. I just opened crazy. Like I got so lucky. I went talents. He had no cards. His Shenshen was at 2300. Because I used parallel to like basically out it. I went like parallel, make Phoenix, make Unicorn. I outed it. And my last card was like I had 1 kid left in my hand. I had talent. I went talents, draw 2. Bro, I drew Polly and a kid. I was like, yo. Like I had to get so lucky.
Sometimes it's just your day. It's just meant to be.
No, but that was game 1. That was game 1. So I was like thinking about it. I'm like, bro. Yo, bless.
It's fair. Glad you got
Oh, man.
fortune.
Yeah, dude.
Someone had to be.
That was in That was round 11. That was round 11. So I was like, bro,
Hmm.
so that was so lucky.
It's fair. I mean, you gotta get some luck as well. You gotta play
Yeah, I
your
was like-
outs, and then they gotta
You have to
happen.
play trials. I literally was like, if I look at his hand, he still wins because he had a Queen Long. So if I rip the last card, he has one card in his hand. I rip the last card in his hand, don't matter. He Queen Long, Lulu F, a GG. So I'm like, yo, rip a Talon, draw 2. And then I drew it. I'm like, oh, okay.
It's fair enough. All right. We reached like around an hour.
Awesome.
I don't have any other like questions or anything unless you guys have any final thoughts. Anything to talk.
No. That's it. Awesome.
Good. Thanks
Yeah.
to PAK and Raph for coming, especially Raph because it's like almost 2 a.m. now.
Yeah.
It's fine.
To,
It's fine.
to everyone watching on stream, you can check this podcast is gonna go up tomorrow,
Yes.
the recorded version on the Disciples YouTube. We also have it on
Yep.
Spotify. If you didn't catch the previous ones, there are some decent ones. You could check it out. And
Yeah.
that's it for me. Thanks everyone for watching and have a nice day. See you.
All right. See you guys.